So, a couple of things happened this week that will inform what I want to talk about today. The first being is I got a text out of the blue from a friend of mine who said something along the lines of, "Your superpower is that you can take anything positive or negative that happens to you and use it to energize other people to create art." And I thought that was maybe one of the best compliments that I have ever gotten in my whole career. And then I got a text up going back and forth with a friend of mine, and said something along the lines of, I feel like I can only ask people to subscribe to my publication. It's hard to ask them to pay because, like, I don't like myself. Basically, was like the long and short of it. And so I thought about that for a long time because I really like his work, and like I was a paid, I've been a paid member of his publication, and before I even knew him very well, so I was like, well, there's something here that I think other people could take advantage of, and the main crux of this is about how you other people can like your work without if you don't like yourself, or if you don't like your work, or how can you ask people to pay for something when when like you're not even confident in yourself. And I think it goes to this concept of, and it's a really hard one for writers to accept, or creators at any level, but it's not about you. Like the greatest freedom that you can have in your career is to understand that whether someone buys or doesn't buy from you, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with how you inhabit your own persona, and how that persona allows other people to use you as a conduit for their own transformation. Now, that's a lot of like hippy dippy woo woo stuff, but I think it's really instructive because so many people take offense when people don't like their work. They don't fall in love. They take it as a personal affront to them. And long ago, I realized that, like, this is not about me at all. I had I spent a lot of the first part of my career, I don't know, putting down my own work, not thinking that it was good enough, um, not thinking that I was good enough. And one day I was doing that in front of one of my uh, fans, one of my readers who read a bunch of my books, and they said, "Could you stop insulting me?" And I was like, "Weird flex, bro. Like, I'm talking about my own work." And he said, "No, I like your work, and you insulting it makes me think that I have bad taste. And I don't have bad taste. I have very good taste." And it really unlocked something for me because it showed that, again, I I was a conduit, but I was a conduit for them. And when people aren't connecting with your work, or when people aren't making the right kind of intuitive leaps for what you want, um, it certainly can be about the quality of your writing. But more often than not, it is you just haven't hit on the right connective tissue, because there is connective tissue that you can make that will get people to make the leaps that you want them to make. But it generally has nothing to do with you personally. It has to do with how you infuse your story in ways that make other people feel seen. Now, this is, if you know anything about our author ecosystem, archetyping system, this is something that forests do really well. Forests are one of the 5 ecosystems. You could take the quiz at authorecosystem.com, but they're one of the 5 ecosystems, and their whole thing is about connectivity. And people always think, oh, I can't be a forest because I don't like to be a part of. I don't want to have a membership community. I don't want to be the center focus. And I always tell them that that is a fallacy, that you should be the center of your community. I'm going to take a sip of tea. What forests are really good at is infusing their story with shared language so that other people can connect through it. They are actually not part of that equation often. All they are doing is saying, I have this piece, I have this book, I have this thing. It has information in it that could make you feel seen. And it could give you the language to talk with other people. And if you and if other people start using it now, then that language gets shared. And whether this is houses like House Stark, House Lannister, whether that is the Hunger Games, whether that's a romance novel, whatever that is, whether that's like Trope Thesaurus, which I talked to Jennifer Hilt on our podcast, a Six-Figure Author Experiment, a couple of weeks ago, whatever it is, the key to having that connection is coming down, making someone feel seen, and then giving them the language to talk with each other. And if you are not having the connection that you want, you might be a very good writer. You might be an excellent writer. You might be the best writer that ever lived. But if you cannot make somebody feel seen and give them language to talk with each other, they are not going to talk about your work with other people. So if anyone has felt this, I don't do this very often. I'm trying to be better at engagement. So this is the thing that I'm bad at. I'm not very good at at talking to the audience. I'm very good at being one to many. So if you've ever felt like this, you can put just a 1 in the comments. That would be great. And I'm gonna try and get better at this part where we can have this communication together. But really, what I'm trying to do is make you give you the context so that you can talk to each other. And if you can do that, you don't even have to be part of a community. Think about all of the Taylor Swift communities. Think about all of the book communities that you are part of. And how often is the actual author in that group? It may be a lot, but I'm sure you could find one that you have maybe never even talked to that author. I think of I really like Kesha's music. I really like Halsey's music. I really like Taylor Swift's music, but I have never, not once, talked to any of them except I met Kesha one time for a minute. However, I use Taylor Swift's music a lot when I talk to other people. It's one of the things my old business partner Monica and I, it's one of the things that we bonded over the most. And it's something that we used as the shared language to connect together. Now, Taylor Swift, there's no way Taylor Swift knows about how much we've talked about Taylor Swift music. And that's perfectly fine. It wasn't about her. It was about using the things in her music as a conduit for us to talk with each other and have a transformative experience. And so, if how does that tie into how can I like my how can I without how can I ask people to pay, or how can I expect somebody to like my stuff if I don't even like myself? Well, this is a very, very, very popular topic among writers. And to go back to what we talked about at the beginning, it really has nothing to do with you can write a scathing piece on yourself that connects deeply with other people, not because they do not like you, but because they have felt that exact way about themselves and they see it in you. So, um, you then are using this thing, your dislike of you, your dislike of yourself, to um, show other people that they feel seen, to be so that other people can feel seen um, by it, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing that you are able to deep, they're able to go deep into yourself. And I'm wearing this, by the way, because my hair looks terrible, but I'm going to take it off because Alex is right. I look kind of like a Jedi, and I'm not sure I like the Sithy kind of Jedi. And looks like my hair is paying attention now. Um, so it doesn't. We all. I want you to like yourself because you're amazing, but that is not the axis by which other people will judge you, or even how they will determine whether they want to pay for your publication. What they will decide is is this person a good conduit for me? Does this person give me the shared language to understand my own life better? And yes, that is inherently selfish, but we are inherently selfish people. Like and that is okay. What we shouldn't do is connect, oh, a bunch of people have paid subscriptions, so that must mean I am good. Or that must mean I like myself. Because if we start doing that, either we tie ourselves to, oh, I don't have anyone paying or joining my publication, so that must mean that I am bad, or I have so many people that like I must be good, look at how good I am. The problem is that that's a roller coaster. And sometimes that roller coaster will make you feel really, really, really good. Oh, look, you got a publication deal. Oh, look, your book came out. Oh, look, you have 100,000 people on your mailing list. But sometimes it will come back down. And when it comes crashing down, that self worth that you've tied to it will be real, real, real bad. And I've seen this a lot of times in my career where somebody starts feeling really good because they're having success. And then that success kind of teeters off and they come crashing back down to earth. And then their creative juices often never recover. And that is like the least deleterious, disastrous way that this could unfold. Um, you could have a lot worse mental or physical ramifications if you are tying yourself either at the bottom or at the top to your self-worth, or whether you deserve to be liked, whether and really anything that comes between like you and audience. Like what happens if if you're not getting subscribers is either you have the wrong audience or you have the wrong product, or you are not good at talking about the product and connecting why the audience should join. And all of those are fixable problems. Um, and none of them have anything to do with how much you like or dislike yourself. None of them have anything to do really with whether you are liked or disliked by the audience. you could be. I just read this great book. I read Margot's Got Money Troubles, and they talk about heels and faces. And in wrestling, a heel is like the bad guy, and a face is the good guy. And it doesn't really matter. Like people love heels and people love faces. So like being bad, having people dislike you has very little to do with whether they like you or whether they respond to you. Um, some heels are some of the most like beloved wrestlers of all time, and a lot of faces are bland and boring, and nobody likes them. What matters is can you forge that connection, and that connection comes from are you a good conduit for the transformation of your um, uh, 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 for that subscriber? And do they want to go on that transformation with you? I follow a lot of wonderful makeup um, uh, or beauty writers. I don't subscribe to many of their publications because, like, I do not use beauty products. Like, there's no transformation. I feel good about myself and my body. Like there's no transformation that I could go on with them that I would um that I feel like I need. Now, if they made a different product that I feel like that I am the right conduit for, I would join immediately because they are like they are great writers and great people. Again, has literally nothing to do with whether you are good or not good. It is only, are you a good conduit right now for my transformation? In the same way, I have a lot of people who unsubscribe from the author stack because they either are like, you have taken me as far as I can go, or I learned that I'm not really interested in like the thing that you're doing, or wow, the things you're doing and the things I thought you were doing are not the same. And again, that's okay. And some publications are set up so that they really magnetize people. So, for instance, a Grassland, who's another one of our author ecosystems, they're really good at owning a topic and going really deep on a topic, but they don't infuse a lot of their personality into their writing. They rely on like expertise in that topic. And so they end up not having that many people unsubscribe. And because they are the leader in that topic, tons of people are subscribed to them, even if those people don't necessarily care about what they write because they know that the information that they put out is good. Meanwhile, like, like I talk, for instance, a lot about um, the consequences of capitalism, and I'm very, very strong in my opinions. I have a very, very strong point of view. So people often come into my publication and go, "Oh, no, 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 no. I just wanted some like cute strategies about how to grow my profile. Like I do not want to go deep on like how capitalism is like the underlying architecture is flawed and how to take advantage of it. Like that is not what I signed up for." And so people tend to polarize against me very easily. But the people that stay tend to be more committed than the people that stay on my on maybe a Grasslands. Like they will be more vocal. The ones that the ones that retain, especially if they retain for like a couple of years, like they are bought into the bullshit like that I like they want that stuff. Like they are there for like peak Russell, and the weirder that it gets, the better it actually does for me. I found that when I tacked myself more to the center, I would get a lot more subscribers, but I wasn't getting a lot more paid members, which is another thing that you need to consider. Like, how are you going on that journey? And now I'm going to ask, I have more to say, but like, I would love to if you have any questions about this topic or anything that is like that is like exciting to you or troubling you, like I'm happy to answer that as well. Because I am kind of now I'm in a recursive loop with myself. I'm beating a dead horse. So I would love to hear what you guys or where you guys are coming from. But like to sum up, oh, when you talk about transformation, are you applying that to fiction as well? Absolutely. Like I think that I was talking with a friend earlier. Like I think anything you buy, you're going on a transformation. Like that transformation might just be to like inhabit someone else's world for a while. It might be to forget about your problems. Like I'm drinking this tea partially to be transformed into someone who is no longer thirsty, but also someone who like has a delightful experience drinking this tea that I really like. I think that one of the things you should think about, especially with fiction, is what is your transition point? What I mean by that is everyone in their life goes through different periods of strife that they look for things to feel comfortable. So, having a baby, buying a house, getting married, getting divorced, moving to a new city, getting a new job, losing a job. These are all transition points that your fiction can also target. And often we talk about the demographics of, oh, the demographics of like, oh, this person is 16 or this person is 24. My ideal reader is 24 to 28. It's like, okay, great. Well, like, did they finish college? Did they have their first job? Like, are they moving to a new city? Are they thinking about a family? Are they dating? Are they married? Are they getting married? Like, what is the transition point that my fiction is trying to transform, and like what am I trying to get that transformation? Like at the end of Margot's Got Money Troubles, like you feel very empowered. Like this person started, like she got pregnant by someone who was her teacher. She was a single mother. Like then she found OnlyFans and TikTok, and she like took control of herself and learned how to do this business. And she like kind of like found this found family. And you're like, okay, like there are several transition points in there. One of them was she was in college. She dropped out of college, wondering, oh, am I even worthwhile to if I drop out of college? One, getting pregnant and being a single mother, um, and like having having some their parents and friends like not like their job prospects or their job choices. Like there was a lot of like, oh well, like what does it mean to be a creative? So there are all of these transition points that were in this book, and I I mean I run a creative business, but like I can't say that like I was one of the target people. But like when you look at who read Margot Margot's Got Money Troubles, you're like, oh, well, of course. Like this spoke to a time in people's lives. Like either they were um, getting into a relationship, out of a relationship, they had a young kid, like they they finished college, they dropped out of college, they're trying to figure out what their place in the world. But like it spoke to all of these transition points at once and allowed all of these different types of people to feel seen. And that's what I mean by feeling seen. Like all of these people are talking about this book because it gives them the context to talk about the world and to talk about it with each other. Like they don't have to ever talk to the author because the author is not the essential component. What is the essential component is the language that that book gives them to talk to each other. Does that make sense, Tom? Are there any other questions kind of about that topic? I know it's like very weird. Like mostly we are writing books to like talk to ourselves, and we're told to like talk to your ideal reader or like whatever that thing is, but like to not center yourself in the process is very hard. But if you are not at the place that you want to be, then one of the skills we have to discover is how to look at ourselves from a reader's perspective. So when one of the first things that I go through to potential clients when we have our first meeting is they often ask me, like, I have this, like, can you look at my book? Can you look at my website? Can you look at my sales page? Can you look at my Kickstarter? And we do. And I don't say this is bad. I don't say this needs work. What I ask is, if you were reading, like, if you came across this page on uh, uh, without knowing who you are, would you buy this product? Like, would you read this book? And when people are not having success, most of the time, it is because the answer to that question is no, and they just can't get out of their own perspective to look at it from another perspective. Like, we will go through 10, maybe 15 different books that they love, and then we'll say, and I'll say, okay, so, like, you think these are good representations of this book, and then I'll show them your cover, and I'm like, does this book look like any of those books? And they go, no. And if and I will say, okay, like, this Kickstarter is about this like, would you read to the end of this product page? And oftentimes I will say something like, show me how to buy the product you're having trouble selling. And they'll, like, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and there'll be, like, a little button, click here to go over to this other page. And then you have to scroll down. And I'm like, you don't even know how to buy your own product. So, like, how is someone else going to be able to do this? You have to make it easy for them. Substack does a lot of things, but one of the things it does is, like, there's a little subscribe button. You just go boop, boop, boop. I'm subscribed now. It doesn't do everything well, but, like, that is one thing it does well. I go to a lot of Substack pages and I say, like, would you subscribe to your own publication? Answer, like you, like, honestly, this is not, and you can do this without taking offense, hopefully, because I have no skin in this game. I want you to succeed. I want you to better yourself, and I want you to have 1 million subscribers if that's what you want. But we can't do that by lying to ourselves or by failing to recognize the most common reason why people don't subscribe is because you wouldn't subscribe to your own publication. You wouldn't read your own book. Like, and 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 not because the book inside is not bad, but because the packaging doesn't look like other books that you enjoy. I just was looking at this artist that I really love, and her album cover looks like it's going to be a like gothic rock album, and it's really like this, like, nice, pleasant, folksy album. And I look at it every time I start that album, and I'm like, this album is not what you think. This is actually what you want to listen to. And I have to convince myself every time to click on that button. As opposed to, if she made a cover that looked like a Taylor Swift cover, I'd be like, oh, well, of course this is what this is about. I don't have cognitive dissonance. Like, I've been really into tarot recently, and, like, look at how easy this branding is to fall in love with. It says Disney villains. It's a tarot deck, and then there are Disney villains everywhere. Like, okay, I know exactly what I'm going to get with this tarot deck. Um, and so I can easily buy it, and that's what we're trying to get people to do when they fall into our story. I know we went off a little bit far afield on, like, how you get the branding right, but in all of these things, like, you don't have to like yourself for other people to like your work. Now, you certainly don't have to not like yourself for people to like your work either. Like, this is the another problem that people have because they think, oh, people joined me while I was in a depressive state and now I'm happier. So I can't, I'm not getting the subscribers, I'm not getting all of that stuff. But what usually changes is you you were it was so raw. It was so easy for you to connect. Like it was so easy for people to feel seen because most people are not happy. And once you got happier, it wasn't that like, oh, people don't want you to be happy. It was that you lost the ability to make people feel seen. So you have to, and but you didn't lose it. You moved away from it because once you were when you were happy, the things you're talking about, like people feel seen less. And so the goal then is how can I still make people feel seen? How can I make people feel the emotion that I want them to feel at the time I want them to feel it? And like I've written a lot of books, and so much of writing books is I want them to feel X now. So what did I have to do to set up earlier to make them feel that now? What do I need to add to the piece that I'm writing so that they feel the exact right thing at the right time? And that has nothing to do with your emotion. That has everything to do with the craft of writing. And you can make the same, and I know because like I have read so many of what are essentially the same pieces on Substack, um, and in books. I've read so many of the same books, and the ones who are effective are the ones that make you feel seen. That they have an arc to the writing, that they know when they want you to feel what, and they can make you feel it. They can like build a process to make that happen. Does that make sense? And so, what is happening when you don't like yourself, but other people do, is usually that you are making them feel seen and giving them the language to talk with each other about it in a way they did not have before reading your piece. And if you can intentionally make that connection, you can now write about a wide number of topics. And you can write about being happy. You can you can go on a journey. You can say, "Hey, I'm here. I'm not very happy. I want you to come on this journey with me. As for the next 90 days, I try happiness techniques to be happy and see which ones stick." And like, if you can say, I'm going to make you feel seen at every stage, I'm going to be doing this with a very cynical perspective, like people will come along on that journey. Well, I mean, you have to pitch it right, but like, that is the general reason why you can be very successful and very unhappy, and how to break it, because you're not really breaking it. What you're trying to do is take this thing that you do very well now, which is I don't like myself and I want to, and saying, I know you see me here, right here. It's like easy to see me because everyone feels stressed, everyone feels these base instincts. But I'm going to make you feel seen here too. And we're going to get new shared language together that we're all going to use moving forward. That's really what you're trying to do when you sell a product, when you sell an experience, like when you sell something, you're saying, you are here right now. You want to be here. We are going to go on this journey together, and I am going to feed you the language so that you can get from one to the other and actually have the transformation and feel seen doing it. So I don't know if that, like, I definitely did not expect this to go this long. If anyone has any final questions or things, I would love to like answer them, even if they don't have anything to do with this with this topic. But um, so many of us feel like shit all of the time because of capitalism and because of patriarchy and because of 100 other things. And so it's a lot easier to plunge those depths and make people feel seen. Instead, what the skill that you should go back and look at your writing in is, how did I accidentally make people feel seen and give them shared language? And moving forward, how can I make it so that I do it with intention? And that will do nothing but increase your effectiveness of your communication and make you a more effective writer. On that note, looks like there's no other questions. So I'm going to say goodbye. Bye, everyone.